What's going on, guys? BP Custom Knives out here in the shop, and we are going to do a little review for you on the TSPROF Kadet Pro. So as you can see here, I have everything laid out in front of me. This is how I would take it out of my toolbox as if I was going to sharpen a knife. Now I've sharpened quite a few knives on this thing so far. I would say probably about in between 50 and 100 knives. I haven't kept track. I know it's a wide range, but I think I've done enough sharpening on here in order for me to formulate an opinion to give you guys a good review. So I'll get started and do a quick assembly for you and show you how easy it is. So this is the base right here. When you take it out, you just click this portion up. It snaps into place. It's nice and solid. I like this mechanism right here. If you want to collapse it, you just push this button down and it's spring loaded. It just pops down. So you can just click that into place. Back here is a little adjustment. So to tighten it up, you can just turn this knob until it stops turning to the lock position. So now this is completely sturdy. There is absolutely no play in there. So we're good to go. Next up here is the clamp. So the clamp just pops right on here, like so. And then you can use this knob right here to adjust your angle. And then this lever right here locks that in. So now you can't turn the knob and it's nice and solid. The clamp also has, of course, the locking jaws here, which can just freely rotate until you lock them down with this knob there. So now everything is perfectly solid, everything is clamped together, and there is no play in this thing whatsoever. It's a very solid and very well made. So next up in the assembly is the arm here. So you can just pop this right into the top, turn this nut, and that locks it in. And then you want to connect this piece right here. This just goes in there nice and easy, and that locks into place. Also has this little fork right here, which is convenient. In between stones, you just put it right there on the base, and then it locks it in. So it's not just dangling over here on the floor. Nice little design there. This is another clamp, and we will talk about that in a little bit. We'll set this aside for now. And these are the stones that came with the sharpener. So you got your 150, 220, 400, 600, and 1000 grit right there. The stones are very easy to install. It's kind of got like a little dovetail. Just click that there. This is spring loaded, and now you are good to go. So let's talk about the system for a little bit. Initially, I loved this thing 100%. I couldn't really figure out anything to point out that I didn't like about it. After using it using it for some time, there are a couple things that I found I didn't like so much. But overall, if I can go back in time, I would still purchase this. I really do like this system. So things that I do like about it. Overall, the build quality seems very, very fantastic. Everything is very solid. I mean, it's even nice to look at. Just everything feels like it just functions like just a well-oiled machine, and it's very precise. There is no play in anything, and it's really a pleasure to use. There is actually three things that I can critique on this design. First thing would be this lever right here. The lever works perfect. The only thing is that apparently this will loosen over time the clamping force, which I guess is kind of understandable, but they don't recommend you leaving this locked down after you're done sharpening. And a lot of times I forget about that, and I will go back inside my house and come back the next morning just to find out that I left this clamped down. And apparently that's not good for it. I have not noticed any difference in the clamping pressure since I've had this thing, so which is good. Now the other thing that I do not like is this lever right here. Now this is the same problem we have here. However, I do notice a difference in the clamping pressure. I could easily go all the way down and push that lever till it touches the frame, and it wasn't like that before. It's gotten significantly easier, and it could pop out really easy. So theoretically, if you're sharpening and you don't have this pushed down all the way, this could pop out when there's pressure on there, and your clamp right there would be in free spinning right there, which wouldn't be good. That hasn't happened to me, but if this keeps getting looser and looser, then that will potentially happen really easily. So if I'm sharpening, doing things quickly, and I close that, that can easily pop out. And that's one thing that I don't really like about it. But it hasn't caused me any problems as of yet. So hopefully it stays that way, and if it does, then I guess that's just the way it works, and I guess it's perfectly fine. But I have noticed a difference in that. Third thing, and last thing, I thought this clamp here was going to be a really good addition, and the reason why I got this clamp is for full flat grinds. So with full flat grinds, you want the angle of the jaws ideally to be at the same angle as your bevels, so it'll put even clamping pressure. These jaws are very stiff, so you can't open these up that much, and you can only get a very slight angle there. And although it does work, I have to go basically to the extreme ends of these the threads on these screws, and I actually stripped out not the threads but the hex heads. So I'll have to replace these with something a little bit stronger, maybe a T20 Torx, and that should be good to go. But that's one thing, I wasn't very impressed by this clamp. Although it does serve its purpose, I expected it to be a little bit more handy than it is. I actually find myself using these clamps more often, even with full flat grinds. I just clamp the blade to the flat part of the spine instead of clamping to the bevel itself. Now, let's go ahead and sharpen a knife and show you guys how nice of an edge we can put on this thing. So right here is a Bestech, I forgot what model this is. This is in D2. I'll get a piece of paper here. So right now the knife is sharp. Let's go ahead and make that edge dull. Let's take the 600 grit. And I know this is you're not supposed to do this, but we're gonna do it anyway. It doesn't take much to dull an edge. That edge should be pretty dull now. Let's try to cut paper with it. Yeah, it doesn't want to bite. It's a very ugly cut. So yeah, this isn't cutting me at all. Let's go ahead and sharpen this thing up. I'll go ahead and add some marker to the edge, and this will show me and make it easier to match the angle of the sharpened bevel. We'll go ahead and see where we're at. Take one pass, and I am taking material right off of that edge there. So we need to go a little bit more shallow. Take another pass. Shallower. And that's perfect right there. It just removed all the marker within one pass. So now we know that we matched our bevel. So let me show you guys how quickly we can apex and move up through the grits. So let's see how long it takes here. Make sure everything is tightened. good to go. You want to be careful at the tip there. That was what, 20 seconds? Probably less than that. No burr yet, but right after this there should be one. You got a little bit of burr up in the front. I think we formed a burr along the whole edge. Let's just do it one more time on this side. All right. We're ready for the next grit. So obviously the 150 grit and forming that burr is where you're gonna spend most of your time. So I wasn't keeping track, but I would say that's probably less than 2 minutes. Now the rest of the grits are extremely quick. These are diamond stones, and by the way, yeah, like I said, I've sharpened maybe about 75 knives on these stones, and they still seem to be holding up. I know that there is better. I do plan on upgrading to Veneve resin bonded stones eventually, but these have been working great for the meantime. So this is 220. Let me show you guys how fast we could go through these grits. That's it for 220. And this is how I sharpen, so I'll leave it on that side and I won't flip it over. It just makes it quicker that way. Then I'll go to 400. Flip it over, 400 on this side. I'll stay on that side, and I will hit it on the 600. Can hear that cat outside. Flip it over, 600 on this side. Sorry for the noise, guys. And this is the last step and the most important besides dropping. So With the 1000 grit, I'll do the same thing. I'll first start off sharpening the same way I would use every other stone, just to get the that finish there to 1000 grit on both sides. Taking the same strokes as all the other stones. Now here's what I do differently than I've seen most other people do. I've actually never seen anybody do it this way, and you might be saying that this is the wrong way to do it, but I've been achieving extremely good results, as you'll see in the finished product. So I will go ahead and, instead of taking my regular passes like this, I will actually run along the blade this way. And what this does is it leaves a very nice finish on your bevel, and I'll show you guys up close when we're done. Like I said, there's some people that will tell you not to do this, but that's the beauty of being able to do the things that you want to do without anybody telling you anything. When you have things and you use them, you figure out techniques that you like and other people may disagree, and that's perfectly fine. But I'll show you guys the result at the end, and it's gonna be quite nice. This basically makes the scratch pattern go perpendicular to your edge. And even though this is only 1000 grit, it almost makes it look like a mirror polish. And this also makes your makes the edge have little to no burr. So now we'll just take some finishing strokes. Very light. And the blade is finished. I'll remove it from the clamps and we'll check if there's a burr, and we'll remove it. And I'll show you guys the finished result. They do sell strops that fit in this sharpening system, which I really want to get, and they're not even expensive. I think they're only $15. So I'm gonna take a quick, all you need is a couple passes on either side. I see a lot of people over stropping their knives, and it's really unnecessary. But just a light couple passes on either side to remove whatever strop is left. I'm sorry, whatever burr is left. The blade is already apexed, it's already sharp. We're just knocking off the burr. A lot of people overstrop quite a bit. There we go. Let me wipe it off with a paper towel. Little WD-40. Check out what this edge looks like here. So that's right off the stone, after this drop, of course. Let's see how sharp it is. paper towel. Cuts of paper towel. So, came up with a very nice edge. Looks super nice. No problem. So that's pretty much it. Just knife sharpened up. And if I wasn't filming and explaining everything that I was doing, I would have been able to do it much quicker. So that's pretty much it, guys. There's the review for the TSPROF. There's definitely some cons, but nothing that would make me say you guys shouldn't pick up this system. I'm just being completely honest with my experience with the TSPROF. And to be honest, I give this thing an A+. The couple things that I've mentioned are just me nitpicking and trying to find something for me to critique. But really, for the most part, it is a great system, and I'm glad that I have it. And I'm going to keep using it as my main sharpening system for all of my custom knives that I make, because I've been able to achieve fantastic results with it, and I know you will too. By the way, I do have an affiliate link. If you guys want to pick anything up from TSPROF, go ahead and click on that link in the description, and I will go ahead and drop that link down there for you. It helps me out a little bit. I'll get a little cut of the purchase, and yeah, I think I was as honest as possible, and I do really like this system. So I got a lot of stuff to do today, got a lot of knives to make, so I'm gonna get cracking on those, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.